The bass throbbed like a second heartbeat, pulsing through my chest as I stood frozen at the edge of the dance floor, a plastic cup of cheap vodka sweating in my hand. The party was a kaleidoscope of chaos, strobe lights slicing through the haze, bodies grinding in a sweaty tangle, laughter sharp enough to cut. And there, in the center of it all, was Lila, my Lila, swaying against some stranger, her hips moving in a way that made my stomach lurch. Her laugh, bright and reckless, hit me like a slap. She hadn't seen me yet. I wasn't sure I wanted her to. We'd been together for 3 years. 3 years of late-night talks, shared coffee mugs, and promises whispered in the dark. But tonight, something was off. The way she leaned into him, her fingers brushing his arm, felt like a knife twisting in my gut. I told myself it was nothing. Just dancing. Just a vodka talking. But the way her eyes sparkled, the way she tossed her hair back, free and unguarded. It was the Lila I hadn't seen in months. The Lila she used to be with me. I took a sip, the burn of alcohol grounding me, and forced my feet to move. The crowd parted reluctantly, bodies slick with heat and perfume. I kept my eyes on her, searching for a sign I was wrong. Maybe it was the lights, the music, the booze. Maybe she was just caught up in the moment. But as I got closer, I saw his hand slide to her waist, and she didn't pull away. My heart stuttered. I wanted to scream, to yank her away, to demand answers. Instead, I stood there, paralyzed, the world narrowing to the sight of her body pressed against his. Lila, I called, my voice barely audible over the music. She didn't hear me. Or maybe she did. Her head tilted slightly, but she didn't turn. The guy, tall, dark-haired, with a smug grin, whispered something in her ear. She laughed again, and it felt like the floor dropped out from under me. I was drowning in the noise, in the heat, in the betrayal I wasn't ready to name. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was the vodka, or the anger, or the desperate need to feel something other than this hollow ache. I turned to the girl next to me, red dress, sharp eyeliner, a smile that said she was up for anything. "Want to dance?" I asked, my voice rougher than I meant it to be. She nodded, her eyes glinting with mischief, and before I could second-guess myself, we were on the dance floor, moving together, close enough to feel her breath on my neck. I didn't look at Lila, but I knew she'd see me. I wanted her to. I wanted her to feel what I was feeling, the shock, the sting, the confusion. My hands found the girl's hips, and we moved in sync, the music a reckless pulse driving us closer. It wasn't about attraction. It was about proving something. To Lila. To myself. I wasn't invisible. I wasn't replaceable. The song shifted, slower now, and I risked a glance. Lila was staring, her eyes wide, her lips parted like she'd been caught stealing. The guy was still there, but she'd stepped back, her body stiff. Our eyes locked, and for a moment, the party vanished. It was just us, suspended in a silent accusation. Her face crumpled, not with guilt, but with something else. Defiance? Hurt? I couldn't tell. She turned away, grabbing the guy's hand and pulling him deeper into the crowd. My chest burned. The girl in the red dress was saying something, but I couldn't hear her over the roar in my head. I mumbled an excuse and pushed through the crowd, my heart hammering. I needed air. I needed answers. I needed Lila to look at me like she used to, like I was her whole world. Outside, the night was cool, the streetlights casting long shadows on the pavement. I leaned against the brick wall, my breath coming in sharp gasps. The door swung open behind me, and there she was, her sequin dress catching the light like a warning. "What the hell was that, Ethan?" she demanded, her voice sharp but trembling. "Me?" I shot back, stepping toward her. "What was that in there?" "You were all over him, Lila. Like I wasn't even here." Her eyes flashed, but she didn't deny it. "It was just dancing. You're blowing this out of proportion." "Dancing?" I laughed, bitter and raw. "You let him touch you. You laughed like you were single. Like we're nothing." She crossed her arms, her jaw tight. "And you? Grinding on some random girl?" "Real mature, Ethan. If you got a problem, talk to me. Don't pull that jealous bullshit." Her words hit like a punch, because part of me knew she was right. I'd acted out of spite, not love. But the image of her with that guy wouldn't leave my head. "I saw you, Lila. I saw how you looked at him. That wasn't just dancing. She went still, her eyes searching mine. For a moment, I thought she'd confess, spill some ugly truth that would shatter us. Instead, she stepped closer, her voice low. You don't trust me, do you? I wanted to say I did. I wanted to believe her. But the doubt was a living thing now, clawing at my insides. I don't know anymore, I admitted, my voice breaking. You've been distant for weeks. Late nights, vague texts. And now this. Her face softened, but only for a second. You're paranoid, she said, but her voice wavered, like she was trying to convince herself too. I'm not cheating on you, Ethan. I wouldn't. Then why does it feel like you're slipping away? The question hung between us, raw and exposed. I hated how vulnerable it made me sound, but I couldn't stop. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me what's going on. She looked away, her fingers twisting the hem of her dress. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken truths. Then, her phone buzzed her purse. She flinched like she'd been caught, and my stomach dropped. Who's that? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. No one, she said too quickly, but her hands fumbled as she silenced it. I stepped closer, my heart pounding. Show me, I said, hating myself for it, but needing to know. Show me your phone. Her eyes widened, a flicker of panic crossing her face. Ethan, stop. This is ridiculous. Then prove it. My voice was steady now, fueled by a mix of fear and fury. If it's nothing, show me. For a moment, I thought she'd refuse. But then, slowly, she pulled out her phone, her fingers trembling as she unlocked it. She hesitated, then handed it to me. The screen glowed, a text notification glaring up at me. Miss you already. Same time tomorrow? No name, just a number. My blood ran cold. Lila, I said, my voice shaking. Who the hell is this? She opened her mouth, then closed it, tears welling in her eyes. It's not what you think, she whispered, but the words sounded hollow, like she didn't believe them herself. Then what is it? I pressed, stepping closer, the phone still in my hand. Because it looks like you've been lying to me. For weeks. Maybe longer. She shook her head, tears spilling now. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said, her voice breaking. It was just, he was there, and you were always working, and I felt so alone. The confession hit like a freight train. I stumbled back, the phone slipping from my fingers. It clattered on the pavement, but I barely noticed. All I could see was her, the woman I loved, admitting she'd betrayed me. Not with words, not with excuses, but with the truth I'd been dreading. I'm sorry, she sobbed, reaching for me. I flinched, and her hand fell. Ethan, I love you. I didn't want this. Then why? I choked out, my voice raw. Why wasn't I enough? She didn't answer, just stood there, crying, as the world I'd built with her crumbled. The party's music pulsed faintly behind us, a cruel reminder of the moment that had shattered everything. I turned and walked away, leaving her standing in the streetlight's glow, her sobs fading into the night. But as I rounded the corner, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You deserve better. I saw everything. Let's talk. My heart stopped. The stranger from the dance floor? Someone else? The betrayal wasn't over. It was just beginning.